Does anybody have one of those apps on your phone that you just have to get on every day? It could be anything. It could be an active fit app. It could be a video game. It could be probably even social media, though social media has to be probably one of the more popular apps on phones. I mean, yeah, people are on it every day, whether it be Instagram or Twitter, even Reddit or YouTube, or just any social media website that you don't think about. People are on it, even Tumblr. And Tumblr, I mean, it wasn't as popular as it used to be back in, 2012? But yeah, it's just funky because one of the apps that I go onto, excluding social medias, and one of my strange addictions ever since 2019 is when I got back to it, was Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go. I have not played Pokemon Go when it first came out. I mean, that's a lie. I did. I did the first year, but if anyone remembers, if anyone was there for that time frame of 2016, Pokemon Go, which I cannot believe is 9 years old, by the way, Pokemon Go was super popular. And when it first came out, it was the most viral thing that you can have on your phone. Almost everyone had to have it. And man, all the silly things that came out of it too. The amount of people who would just spend hours and hours just driving around, going to different Poke gyms and trying to capture different Pokemons and stuff like that. Like, gotta give kudos to freaking Pokemon Go at that time. At that time, holy moly, like it was revolutionary. 2016, there was nothing like it. And I know there's a lot of other video games that require your attention to get on every day. That's on the iPhone or Android or whatever tablet you may have or phone. Unless you have a flip phone, then I suppose you can't get on Pokemon Go. But it's just so wild to me where Pokemon Go has gone. It's still popular. There's still a lot of people playing Pokemon Go. And it's mainly the true hardcore fans too. There's a lot of them. Like Pokemon in general is just a popular topic. There's still kids out there collecting Pokemon cards. Pokemon is just going to be one of those things that never dies. And this is, as far as I know, one of the most active Pokemon video games that still has an online fan base. Like a lot of Pokemon video games just come and go. A lot of like Nintendo DS games, a lot of Nintendo games in general, a lot of the servers just kind of die within like the 10 years. Pokemon Go, I feel like it's going to be one of those video games that's going to just outlast those things, and it's just wild to me. But it shows the amount of people who actually play on it, and they continue updating it. And my thing is, I play it. Now, there's a lot of people that play it for different reasons. Like, people like to be competitive on there, and you can do battles on there. I can't say I'm very good at the battles, and I will only do them if there's a challenge to be accomplished. Other than, you're not going to be seeing me in the battleground. It's too much time. I can't do that. It's one too much. Also, it is freaking cold outside. I hate the fact that I look at my weather app, and it's telling me that it is going to be cold tonight, but the rest of the week, every other night, beautiful. How? It's going to be nice, warm, not warm, but like, I'm not going to be putting on a jacket. That's what I hate about this whole weather. At least spring breaks around the corner and it gets hotter and hotter, so at least I'm not as bundled up as I was before when I had to wear jackets and layers and stuff like that. And that's one thing about Pokemon Go, is that the intention of using that game was to make people go outside and walk. But the fun part is that a lot of people kind of do the opposite, get in their cars, and they will go to these checkpoints. But I will say the cool thing about having this Pokemon Go app is that anytime I go to a different city, or if I'm somewhere out of the country, like if I decide to ever go to Budapest again, that's a walking city. I can walk around on my phone and I can just acquire like all sorts of different stuff over there. And the fun thing about Pokemon Go is that when you capture a Pokemon, let's say in Germany, if you capture a Pokemon in Germany, it will tell you that that Pokemon that you captured is from Germany and that you can keep it. I mean, you don't have to. You can always transfer it and trade it for eggs so you can level up or keep it or whatever, level up a stronger Pokemon. But the cool thing about the app is that they have Poke Gyms and Pokestops. Pokestops is something you just flick, and it will give you a couple of goodies. And if you don't have, gosh, I'm really wording this wrong. If you have room in your inventory, you also received a gift that you can send people. And typically, this gift is like a postcard. And on this postcard is typically the picture of what that Pokestop is. And that Pokestop is basically, it's normally like a park or a sign or something important like a statue that has history. It's basically something that is supposed to help fans learn as you go as well. Now, not all Pokestops and Pokegyms will give you information on what it is that you're spinning or acquiring, because Pokegyms are gyms that you basically take over. And if you sit in a Pokegym long enough, what is it, like 8 hours, 6 hours, whatever it is, you get 50 coins. 50 coins is the max that you can get per day. So if you leave a Pokemon all day and someone attacks that gym and takes over that gym, then your Pokemon will faint, and then you can either choose to revive your Pokemon or you can choose to transfer your Pokemon so you can clear up your Pokemon inventory. There is a limit on how many Pokemons you can get, but the beauty thing about this video game is that it allows you to expand your inventory by collecting these coins. So the more coins you collect, the more accessible you'll have with features in the game. So that's why it's important to take over gyms. When you start out in Pokemon Go, you basically want to ride. You want to find gyms that's already allocated by your team, and you'll just join in and then just wait until someone else takes over, and then you get your coins. So it's a productive system. I like it. I have this heater right here, so if it makes noises, I'm sorry, but it just it's only like 50 something degrees, but I'm a wimp. I can't handle the cold. I don't know how anyone can. That's why I can never go to anywhere freaking freezing. I mean, I went to Georgia and whatnot to see snow a couple months ago. That was fun. If it's for like stuff that makes sense, let's do it. But it is not snowing where I'm at. I don't like it here. I don't like it when it's cold and it's just for no reason. That's weather and Mother Nature, and I shouldn't be complaining too much because it gets really hot real quick around here. But a lot of people complain about the heat around here. I'm over here enjoying the heat. I don't know how people can like move to a state or a country that's super hot and then complain about the heat. But that's just me. Anyways, so Pokemon Go. So on my Pokemon Go, I'm a level 40. And I like to acquire gyms, and when I get you can acquire gyms, and what's the cool thing about it is you can have it a bronze level, a silver level, or a gold level, and basically these are tiers of the gym. So it shows you basically how much effort you've put into the gym when you take it over. So and it's important too, because when you have it on gold, you basically, every time you drop your Pokemon off in there, you spin the Pokestop that's on it. And again, your Pokestop is what gives you some more stuff. So you spin the little medallion that's on top of the gym, and it gives you more stuff because you're a higher tier in the gym. Not just because you've taken over the gym. Taking over the gym helps, but when you're a gold tier, you're able to have more stuff or acquire more stuff. Sometimes you'll get health potions or more Pokeballs and stuff like that. So that's also why it's kind of important to like if you live next to a gym, I mean, you're going to be bound to have that as gold. But it's they make it important to acquire these gyms and level it up, and that's kind of the whole game, is basically just training and capturing, and it's just like my hat was sideways a little there. It's very important. That game makes you grind, essentially. It makes you grind. It's a grinding game. If you like to play video games that grind, that game is for you. It took me forever to get to level 40 on that game too, and the top level is level 50, and it's like how do people do it? But again, I wasn't playing Pokemon Go religiously every day. Even in 2019, when I touched Pokemon Go again, I just did not even bother to play as much as I do now. Now I play a little bit more. Sometimes it's just one of those things where I can just flip on when I'm just waiting or I got nothing else going on. So it's just one of those things where I can just flip on, and if I'm somewhere, I can easily like take over Poke gyms and stuff like that. Also, happy April. If today of the release day of the recording will be April 4th, and that means it's going to be International Day for Landmine Awareness, and it's also World Rat Day. So if you have a rat that lives with you and you enjoy rats, you know what? Happy Rat Day. I never imagined that would be a thing. Hashtag World Rat Day is a thing. And World Rat Day history. In 2002, rat owners took to the internet to discuss a possible day dedicated to their beloved pets. They wanted to initiate a World Rat Day that would promote rats as pets. These rat lovers chose April 4th as it was the date that was Rat List began. The Rat List is the oldest mailing list on the internet dedicated to the topic of pet rats. Well, that makes sense. So, you gotta have a holiday for everyone. World Rat Day, April 4th. And International Landmine Awareness is something I've never even would have thought or discussed. Let's see. On September 18th, 1997, during the Oslo Conference, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Canada and Foreign Minister of Norway called for a total ban of anti-personnel landmines. They make sense. To date, the convention has been signed by 164 state parties. Also in 1997, the United Nations Mine Action Service, UNMAS, was formed to help eliminate the threat posed by mines. On December 8, 2005, the United Nations General Assembly declared that April 4th would be observed as International Day for Mine Awareness and Assistance in Mine Action. The first official observance was held on April 4th, 2006. Now, who is holding on to landmines? Like, I guess it makes sense because there's a lot of people who've gone through war. There's a lot of old veterans. There's a lot of stuff that's passed down to people. There's a lot of people who are fans of holding that kind of stuff. So I guess it makes sense. It's like you would want to have a landmine, but also that's super dangerous if you think about it. Like, especially the older explosive gets, like World War II grenades and stuff like that. You hold on to an old grenade, you hold on to an old landmine, you hold on to anything old that was meant to be used in war 100 years ago, well, 80 years ago. It depends on what freaking war you're talking about. It's very important to understand what it can do in your home. It's very important to understand that that's kind of dangerous. So I can see why they would want to, make a holiday out of it. I never knew this. I never knew hashtag International Day for Mine Awareness. Now, the fact that there is a party, let's see, the UNMAS was formed. How do you get that job? What do you do to just go out there and take mines or look for mines or make mines awareness? What do you do? Hashtag. I'm gonna search up this hashtag because it's just weird. Let's go on X or Twitter, however you want to phrase it. I just want to see. Irish Aid. It's International Day for Mine Awareness. Supports mine action programs in Africa, Latin America, Asia, and Middle East. Interesting. And the tweet's got 56 likes. Is this an old tweet? Yeah, it was from last year in 2024. Hashtag international mind. I just want to see the top. Oh wow! So in 2016, there's a picture of. Let's see. Is that Russia? I can't tell. I don't know. I'm not gonna go far into details. Just two men sitting outside on the table, and they have some sort of poster. Um, I guess just promoting the mind awareness. Okay. Well, that's very interesting. Not many people talk about the subject, as you would imagine. I feel like that's just very interesting. Anyways, so back to the topic. Oh, and it's April 4th. If you have a birthday on April 4th, happy birthday. You share a birthday with Heath Ledger, everyone's favorite Joker, everyone's favorite Australian actor. Well, I can't say everyone's favorite Australian actor. There's a lot of Australian actors out there, like Chris Hemsworth and such, that are out there. Anyways, so you share your birthday with Heath Ledger. You also share a birthday with Robert Downey Jr. Isn't that exciting? Robert Downey Jr. So you share a birthday with Iron Man and the Joker. What more could you ask for on April 4th? But yeah, no, Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is just, I don't know. They keep up with the game. They upkeep the game. They put Pokemons. They put new Pokemons on there. They continue putting challenges. They continue making the game active. And the thing about Pokemon gyms is that they also do raids. So basically what a raid is that for at least an hour or less, sometimes it's less, that for that certain hour a Pokemon will appear at that gym. And if you decide to raid that Pokemon, then you will be able to attempt to attack it and defeat it, and then you can try to capture it. They have different tiers of raids. They have star 1, star 3, and star sometimes 5 or 6, and then they do mega raids where it's like a mega Pokemon that's in there. And the fun thing about these raids is that you can invite people. And there's an app called PokeRaid and PokeGenie that a lot of people have discovered. And what it is, when you do these raids as well, is that you don't have to be at the Poke Gym to do it. You just need one person, and then when one person's there, they can invite their friends, and they can use a remote pass. A remote pass allows you to attack Poke Raids with your friends anywhere you're at. So a lot of people on PokeGenie and Poke Raids, they will do this where they have a system where a person will host a lobby saying that they are going to attack this Pokemon. And a lot of times there's a lot of people in line. There's a lot of Poke gyms that are in line, and so it depends on the day. If it's a good day, there's going to be a lot of people attacking gyms. Typically during the weekends. Weekends are very popular. And what it is that you host a lobby, and 5 people will join you, and you add them as a friend. After you add them as a friend, you will invite them to join the raid. And that is how a lot of people acquire these Poke Raids, because not every Poke Raid is easy. A lot of these raids are hard, and so you do need people to capture some of these very difficult Pokemons. And you know, it's a great way to take over and share the Pokemon community and stuff like that. I think that was a genius invention, honestly. It's funny how one successful app can create other apps to help that app. I think whoever invented PokeRaid or PokeGenie, whichever one came out first, I think that was a pretty genius idea. And I'm pretty sure they make good money because ad revenue. People have no idea how much ad revenue you can get out of just an app, and that's why there's so many apps out there, and that's why there's so many pointless video games out there. Not every video game on the App Store is great. A lot of video games on there are just like stupid. So it's really important not to get lost in the sauce when you're downloading games. And you know, it's freaking amazing. Flappy Birds, the owner of Flappy Birds, which is so weird and bizarre to me. It's like the owner of Flappy Birds have dropped the game and discontinued it, but the amount of money that he was making, income. How do I search that up? How much money did Flappy Birds make? Let's find out. The game's author claimed that it generated 50 grand a day in app advertising. So, if you're making 50 grand a day, and then you decide to just cut the game because you feel guilty that people are trying too hard or putting their lives into it, and then you just decide to cut it, it's like, what even? I mean, I'm sure he made enough to retire happily, but what even? Like, I don't know. When you make a video game, the intentions is just to let people play it, right? It's for it to go out there, and it was one of the more popular app games that was out there, indeed. And when did Flappy Birds even release? It was about that time frame of Pokemon Go, right? Let's find out. Flappy Birds release. And the funny thing is, like, when the guy took down Flappy Bird, it just generated other games. Okay, so 2013 was the release date of Flappy Bird. Let's look at the Wikipedia of this. Let's see. 50 million people downloaded Flappy Bird in January 2014. And it was the #1 free game in app stores in 53 countries. And the founder of Flappy Bird got 148k followers on Twitter. Like, wouldn't you just, like, enjoy the success of your game? What was it that made him want to turn it? I think someone, like, really, let's see. There was a little Mario aspect to it that was questioned, but the people who played the game to enjoy the game did not care about that. But I guess a lot about this game got into the creator's head. I don't know. It's so weird. And, like, there's copycats of Flappy Bird that is out there that's just more popular. Let's see. Flappy Bird is a 2024 arcade mobile game developed by Game Tech Holdings. Okay, so now there's just, I don't know if this is the same Flappy Bird or not. It doesn't look like it is. The trademark for Flappy Bird was terminated after Game Tech Holdings had filed to have it recognized as abandoned. I mean, in fairness, yeah. The original developer of Flappy Bird failing to reclaim it, in addition to rights to whatever else he's got, was acquired by Game Tech, alongside employee of his developer Keck, who claims the acquiring to be a milestone not just in gaming but for him personally. Wow, that's a little toxic. But anyways, so Flappy Bird is now acquired by a different video game company, and now it's going to be used as something else. That's great. So you can search up Flappy Bird. So let's do that right now. Actually, I want to know, what does Flappy Bird look like now? Is it the same? Is it the new version of it? Have you ever gone to a Blockbuster, or not Blockbuster, Dave & Buster's? Have you ever gone to Dave & Buster's and they actually have that Flappy Bird that's, like, obviously the fake version of it? Again, Flappy Bird. Nope. So they acquired the name Flappy Bird, but they never took advantage of it. Oh well. You can see that there's all sorts of stupid other remakes of this. Flappy Dunk, Angry Birds 2. No, that's not a remake. Birdie Bird, Flying Bird, Flap and Fly game, Flappy Bee, Hidden Vault, Flappy Bird game. Yeah, this is definitely not the same one. So it's so funny how Flappy Bird was once a popular game and now it's not, and just, I don't know, why would you want to take it down? I guess you just feel guilty eventually. It's not like the game was gonna, like, last forever. I think what it was when that game came out, it was just a trend at the time, and I think the game was just gonna die down anyways. Like, give it a couple years and no one's really gonna be talking about it as much. But I mean, Pokemon Go, however, people are still talking about that game. I was listening to a radio show, my favorite radio show, Elliot in the Morning, by the way. they were talking about Pokemon Go the other day, and they were pretty surprised that there's a whole bunch of people that were still playing, and a lot of people were calling in to tell them, hey, we're still playing, and this is what you do in this game and stuff like that. And I just find the topic very interesting because it's like, I don't know that many people who play Pokemon Go. I've come across a couple of people, and they do have it in their phones, and they play it occasionally, but it's like, not an average typical Joe has it. Not everyone has it anymore like they used to. So I find it very interesting that the community is still there and it's still alive, and it's like, this is surpassing a lot of games. This game has lived longer than a whole bunch of other games. Like, oh, and it's gonna be so sad to say this, Halo Reach. I love Halo Reach. I love Halo 4. I love Halo 3. I loved Halo 2. All the OG Halo games has been surpassed, and now I am not as happy as I used to be because I can't play those games. Even though Master Chief Collection is a thing, not the same. Not the same as it is on the original games. So it's very, very sad to come across that. Oh well, what can you do? Anyways, I play Pokemon Go at least religiously. I like to take over Pokemon gyms, and I like to get them to gold level, and then I leave them alone for a while because I don't want to go to them. I grind a lot in this game. Level 40 is a high level, and if you don't think level 40 is high, it's high. I was stuck on level 39 for so long. You need millions of XP to level up, and the higher you get, the worse it gets. And now when you're in level 40s, it's literally the worst. And I have not been playing that game long enough like all the other level 50s that are on there. And just like, how do people do this? I don't understand. And when you're level 50, your max level is like, why are you still playing? I don't know. I guess if I ever hit level 50, I'd play here and there, but I wouldn't be playing religiously or anything like that. But there is a lot of people out there that are level 50, and they're like, yeah, I'm going to continue playing because I can. So, oh well, we live in a crazy world where everyone does everything and everything does everyone. So, including this podcast and me doing this podcast. Weird. Anyways, that's the topic of the day. I totally meant to record this earlier, but I had taken a nap, and so my time frame is on a time. Which sucks, because I just wanted to record a video game after this as well, but now I have to put that on hold until next time. So, it's alright. So I try to knock 2 birds with 1 stone in one day, and then that way I spend the other time off just editing, but that's alright. I make it work. So, if you guys like this podcast, like, rate, subscribe, do whatever you do. I will see you guys next time, and go to bed.